Let's talk some games. Disney's now into the Fortnite trade. Let's talk about what's ahead for the year in the video game world with Nick McKay, Vice President of Equity Research at Wedbush, covering stocks like Take-Two, Roblox, EA, Nintendo, etc. So, Nick, are you going to have to start covering Disney now, too?
It's a bit too tough for my intellect, but no, I mean it's interesting to see them, pushing into gaming again with such a high-profile partnership. And I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old at home, so when that new entertainment and game universe comes out, I kind of envision there being a virtual reality or a digital Disney that my kids can play in. So it'll be fun to watch them do that.
All right, so going to be an interesting entrant, see what they can do with it. Epic Games has got a pretty good success record behind them. Right now, though, what's the hot thing in the industry? I mean, we know we got the new Grand Theft Auto, but that's still like a year away. What's more imminent right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of inbounds on Roblox. I think one of the things to think about with video game companies historically, the ones that create content for consoles, is their results can be pretty choppy. So when they have a big game, their numbers are up. When they don't have much at all, the numbers come down, which is one of the reasons why you see the traditional video game companies get more involved in mobile. But one of the names we really like right now is Roblox. If you look at a lot of the key metrics from this most recent quarter and for much of 2023, you're seeing a 20% grower, which they expect to sustain through 2027. So if nothing else, Roblox isn't just for kids anymore. I mean, they've done a great job of branching out and finding new ways to monetize.
Yeah, we got a nice bid into the stock after earnings, but it's kind of stopped out at the same level it has many times at 48 bucks. What's up with that? How come this thing can't seem to crack $50?
Yeah, I mean, the one of the issues that Roblox has is there are third-party data trackers who periodically, like once every couple weeks, I'd say 2 weeks to a month, come up with estimates on what they think the company is going to do for a given quarter. So there's a whisper number that's created essentially by these third-party data trackers. What's going to be different this time around is the company's actually provided guidance. So hopefully that reduces the volatility in the shares because investors will, hopefully know what to expect for the upcoming period. But in terms of breaking through that $50 level, it's going to be things like the advertising business ramping up. It's going to be, I think if you take a step back and you say, okay, what is Roblox competing with on the console side this year? It's a relatively quiet console release slate year, assuming we don't get GTA 6. So I think Roblox benefits from that as well. And they're always bringing out new products, new avatars, limited items based on rarity, things like that, that should help them kind of push over that hump.
There's no core change to the structure of the game, but part of the Roblox universe is that people come up with like their own things that others play within it, right? Isn't that the whole kind of idea behind the sustainability, the sort of evergreen style of the platform?
Yeah, so they don't create much of anything in terms of the content that's on there. Over time, they've pushed away from coming up with that stuff. So you see development teams of a range of different sizes coming up with the experiences that are most popular on there. You can be a professional outfit with 100 or more developers, or you can be, a couple of 20-year-olds with a good idea. So the barriers to entry on Roblox are a lot lower than they are in traditional console gaming, which obviously helps you when you're smaller. But it also naturally makes it, tougher and tougher for the larger developers to stay on top. So you tend to see more content become available on Roblox, from day to day and week to week than you do for traditional games, because the content drops there can be, anywhere from a couple weeks to every few months.
Okay. Certainly unique among the gaming stocks for that reason is kind of being a one product stock in a way, but obviously there's a lot of activity on there that sets it apart. I mean, Take-Two obviously has got other games than GTA, but I do wonder if that's kind of become a one game story up until it comes out. What do you think traders should be looking for in those shares?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and extend your share price range to 6 months, you can see the biggest jump occurred in the month of November. not based upon results that they reported at the beginning of that month. It was essentially the leader of the Rockstar Games division saying, hey, there's going to be a trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 that launches in early December. So it's by no means a one-trick pony. They have a bunch of great content. You know, one of the games that comes out every year they're well known for is NBA 2K. You know, they have a large mobile business in the form of Zynga, but the game that investors care about the most is Grand Theft Auto 6. So when Take-Two reports this afternoon, you're going to want to keep an eye out for whether they give any indication that the game is coming in the year ended March 31, 2025. We think it comes out in the year after that. But the opportunity for that game is just so massive. I mean, for example, the last time around they did a GTA, they sold in about 30 million units in a month and a half, which at the time translated into about 1.5 billion in revenue roughly. So whenever GTA 6 launches, you hopefully should see the bookings for Take-Two inflect up in a big way.
Oh yeah, I mean, you think they would crush that? I mean, obviously everybody already knew Grand Theft Auto as a title in the gaming world, but that particular last installment, I mean, it's a decade of totally redefining gaming, so I'd assume it's going to crush when it debuts. Last one I want to talk about is Nintendo. Kind of a sleeper. Doesn't get as much attention as an ADR, but it's really moving here over the last couple months. What's the story?
The story is they've got a device in the marketplace now called the Switch, which has done like 140 million units lifetime. So it's a traditional console piece of hardware you pick up. The story right now, though, is the Switch 2, and Nintendo is purposely avoiding saying anything about the Switch 2 through this fiscal year. So hopefully after March 31st, potentially over the summer, we get word on what their next console is going to be. And I think one of the things Nintendo's done really well this time around is they said, look, we're not impacted by what Microsoft and Sony do. Our games on average are better. Our console has a compelling price point, and it's just fun playing Nintendo stuff. So yeah, we'll see when they announce the Switch 2. I think it's going to get some kind of word about it over the summer, and then hopefully best case it launches ahead of the holiday and kind of refreshes that investor or that console base. But yeah, it is a sleeper. It's trended up the last couple months on Switch 2 hype, and I think the story largely centers on that piece of hardware.
All right, didn't even realize the Switch 2 chatter was building. I'm still on the Switch 1. Great device, and they really are kind of in their own market. It doesn't really compete in many ways. Yeah. It's like a whole separate style of gaming. All right, great stuff. Nick, thanks for the walkthrough. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Oliver.
All right, fun combo. Nick McKay, Vice President, Equity Research at Wedbush. All right.